Hi everyone, Marilyn O'Malley here of MarilynO'Malley.com, and today I want to talk to you about manifesting. And why do I keep talking about manifesting? Because you're here to manifest your deepest desires. You're here to manifest what wants to be expressed through you, whether that is a career, whether that is helping the hungry, whether that is being a teacher, being an architect, building a home, raising a family, the whole scope of being president, whatever it is that you can imagine that you desire, helping us create peace in the world. That is something in you that is wanting to be expressed out here in the world. And people are struggling with getting it out in the world and expressing it. And so I want to talk to you about what is needed again and again, if I can say it different ways, or sometimes it's just hearing it a new way, or having an example. So I want to work with you today to help you better express yourself in the world, right? Manifest all those things that you want to manifest. So what is manifesting? So manifestation is conscious awareness that we are creating our own reality through our thoughts and feelings. Now, this is where there is some confusion, because a lot of people are thinking it's just through your thoughts. And it's not. This is why I talk so much about energy, because energy is everything, and emotions are energy in motion. So your feelings are really, and your emotions about things are really like the rocket boosters in manifestation. And the thoughts are your ideas, are the impressions that you're putting out there in the world of what it is that you want to create. And here's the thing, you're always creating, but are you creating what you don't want or what you do want, right? So I'm here to help you go in the direction of what you do want. And so another big word in this definition of manifestation is consciousness, is being really conscious about what it is that you're thinking and feeling, and is that your intention? Is that what it is that you're wanting to intend to create in the world, right? So here I want to just help a teeny little bit too with the highly sensitives, because I see this a lot, right? And I see this a lot with spiritual people. I know all of this. I know this. I've read every book. They can talk it back to me. They can talk it back to anybody else, but they don't live it. So it really is about living it, not just knowing. This is not, manifestation is not a mental process. It's a feeling process. So one of the other hiccups with the highly sensitives is that we can be very empathic, and we can feel everybody else's energy around us and be influenced by everybody else's energy around us. So if you're not managing that energy, then you're letting other people's energy, particularly if it's like depressive energy or angry energy or any type of resistance type of energy, frustration, etc., is influencing you, then that is stopping you from manifesting what it is that you are desiring in the world, and you're actually putting your attention on them and their energy versus your own. So that's again why I talk about learning to be empathic but not take on the other people's energy, learning how to manifest that, right? Just a couple vlogs ago, I did a whole thing on empathy, and really why becoming neutral with it, like you can read it but you don't take it on, is managing your energy so then you can be manifesting in the world what you want to manifest. Okay, then the next thing with being highly sensitive is that we're really good at feeling other people's energy, but growing up highly sensitive, our emotions and feelings became overwhelming to us. So what did we do? We kind of shut them down, and we think about them. So we've turned our feelings into, we're thinking about our feelings rather than feeling what we're really feeling. So this can hold you back from manifesting what you want, because you're not aware of what you're feeling, and you can't manage what you're not aware of. So this is why becoming aware of your feelings and being able to manage them will help you manifest again what it is that you desire. So becoming more conscious about, what am I feeling? So allowing yourself to feel. So, and by not being so empathic and taking empathic in the way of taking on other people's energy or relating to it like yours, you can relate to it, and in some ways having that interfere with your own energy, not being neutral to what you're feeling other people feeling, confuses you as to what it is that you're really feeling. So by learning how to have boundaries and keeping that your empathy neutral for you, now you can start to process and become conscious about who you are and what you're feeling and how those feelings are showing up. So there's a lot here. This is why it's hard to manifest what you, well, I don't want to say hard. Once you get this and understand this, then once you realize the process, then you just keep repeating the process and eliminating the resistance and getting into the flow of your life, then you'll be manifesting, and you'll start to manifest really easily. And if you think about it, the things that you have really wanted and you didn't think or imagine that there was any resistance to them, came to you very easily. It's, again, our thoughts and then our feelings about having that which we wish to create in our lives. So this is a lot of times, like, people will say, oh, I want $1 million. And then, but when they really think of it, but I'm not worthy of that, or I can't do that, or oh my God, I'm not smart enough to do that. So so that thought has feelings related to it, and it's those feelings that create resistance and keep you out of manifesting more money in your life, more things in your life. All right, so let me see here. Let me look at my notes. So let's talk about some steps here that you can take to become a better manifester for the things that you do want to create in your life. So I've already given you, as a highly sensitive, I wanted to cover certain things that have to happen, but now just on the basics of manifestation. So one is taking responsibility for your energy and your emotions. Taking responsibility, I am creating. So I don't know, you might not have heard, but one of the things that I did in order to help me become more conscious about that I am creating this, I worked for like a year to come up with a signature. I can't remember who taught me, who was the resource of this for me, but I know somebody else created a signature that to remind them that they were manifesting. And I thought, well, what's a signature that I can create? And so eventually, over time, I came up with Mom. So Marilyn O'Malley. So my capital letters in my name spell out Mom. And so there's, deeper millennials mom, I am a mom, but also what it meant to me was master of manifestation. So now I sign Mom, and everybody cracks up about it, and everybody has their own determinations. But when I tell them that every time I sign a check for anything, I'm being grateful and appreciative, and then also reminding myself, I created that. I created that. So that was a really positive thing for me to get excited about things and about signing checks for bills and everything instead of being in fear and having limited thoughts. I just started being like, yeah, thank you for the electricity. Yes, thank you for the wonderful meals I've created out of having this organic food and the ability to go to a grocery store or to grow my own, right? So remembering that you are creating, that you are the creator, and that you're responsible for that. So to manifest, you must become emotionally responsible. And so in becoming emotionally responsible, right, you're shifting your emotions so you're more in the flow and less in resistance. So here are some of the things that are resisting, right? Rejection of yourself. Anywhere that you're rejecting how you're feeling. So highly sensitives, all the ways that you think that you're not enough, or you're too sensitive, the things that you grew up with, or any of you that have had nicknames like slob or klutzy, all that stuff, those are anywhere that we're looking at ourselves and judging ourselves as not enough, as unworthy, as unlovable, and all those other judgments, that is resistance. And also allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling. So if you're feeling anxious, let yourself feel the anxiety and move through it, and not be like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Just to be loving with yourself and feeling like, and this too will flow. Just imagine like your life and the energy in your life is the ebb and flow of like a wave coming in and a wave going out. And so there'll be moments where you're frustrated. There'll be moments where you're angry. There'll be moments when you're in bliss, when you are in love. But it's just like you're not stuck to any of those. You're not trying to control any of those, and allowing yourself to go from moments of frustration to, allow, as you start to go through that and feeling like you're stuck or something, and allowing the frustration and letting that move through your body, then you start to allow yourself to go into an area of like, well, what if? What is possible? What if anything could happen? Who could help me? Ask source. Lead me the way. Tell me where people, places, or answers to this challenge is. I will listen. Guide me. So, judging others. Believing things shouldn't be the way they are. I shouldn't be having this much trouble. Well, just acknowledging I'm having trouble right now, or so and so is acting a certain way right now. It is what it is. Stop arguing with what is happening, and that will help you get back into the flow of moving through it, and finding a solution, or just not caring. But it's, again, wherever your energy is going and your attention is going, watch, is that in resistance or is that in the flow? Any rigid behavior or going unconscious. A lot of times when we go unconscious, right? Going unconscious and just getting snappy and just kind of reacting to the world, that's unconscious. So the flow is being like happy and creative, open, accepting wherever you're at, being conscious and appreciative and grateful for like what you have around you. So again, that's more consciousness than it is about going unconscious and doing things from habit or programming. All right, so that's number one, right? Taking responsibilities and doing that. And I guess a little example of that for you. So when I first started learning manifestation was with John Asseroff. He was a mentor. I joined a program where he was coaching us a long time ago. I think right when The Secret came out, or a little bit before, and I worked with him for over a year and a half, and he was teaching us the science of quantum field and manifestation and all of that. And that's when I got like, oh my God, I have power. I was so excited. I have power. Oh my gosh, what can I do? So knowing him giving instructions and practicing, so I would be like, okay, whatever I'm thinking and feeling in this moment is going to affect this moment, and it's going to affect this moment and this moment. So I started with little things, that I can't even remember. It was so long ago. It was 16 years ago, or 17 years ago. So I would focus on, say I was wanting to, oh gosh, I don't want to waste time thinking about it. But anyway, so I would watch what I was thinking negatively. Like I would think, oh, these bad things are going to happen, and so I need to show up and be perfect in order to make what I wanted to happen. And so I was all in this, perfectionist thing and not feeling good enough. And so that was like running me. I was running on fear. I was running on fear that people would see I wasn't enough, or I wouldn't be worthy enough. And so I just started tweaking a little bit and thinking good thoughts about myself and not judging myself. I stopped gossiping. I stopped judging, making bad judgments about myself. I would just say stop. And then I would think I'm lovable and I'm worthy and I'm enough, or, any of the going along those lines, and just loving myself wherever I was at that time. And then I would just go. And then I would just, whenever it would show up again, I would do the same thing. And at first it felt like, oh my gosh, my whole day was just catching all these negative thoughts that I was having about myself and my world, right? And it took a while, but I just kept doing it. I was like, I'd go into doubt and like, is this working or what? And then I would remember the science, remember the science. There's science that proves this. And so I would just keep doing it. And all of a sudden I noticed things would change. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's working. And so I would just keep doing a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And that's how I've gotten here with some and growing. So let's go on to the second thing. And that's where you can start, is just by a little bit, like changing, stop judging yourself and start loving where you're at. Start feeling what you're feeling and honoring that. And stop judging others, because what you put out comes back to you. What you put out comes back to you. Remember that. So that's very powerful for your energy and your ability to manifest. So the second thing that I've talked about a lot is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because here's the thing, right? Is you are playing in the quantum field. You are playing in infinite possibilities. You're playing in potential. And that's where, and you're playing in the now. So the things that you knew and then are in your past, and that's where fear and stuff comes from. When you go back and worry and the doubt and all that, you say, but this happened in the past, and in the future is the anxiety, what ifs, all of that stuff. What if this happens? What if that happens? Taking it from that's what happened in the past, right? And you're just bypassing the present moment, being conscious right here, right now. This is where you manifest. And this is connected to everything, right? Energy. Energy is everything. And your emotions are energy in motion, connected to everything. So you can't be attached to the outcome. You can have an idea and the tension, but you're not going to know the timing. You're not going to know necessarily how it's going to show up. And the thing is you have to get really comfortable, like it's going to be okay whether you get it or not. Can you feel that energy? You're not attached to the outcome and the way that it comes in. So this is scary. This is where a lot of people hit a lot of bumps too, right? Because it's really you're wanting some, particularly if you're suffering in any way, or you're in a situation where you feel alone, or you don't have enough money, you're going through a divorce, You're trying to find your career. You're want the love of your life. You know, these are things I know are very important to you, and it's scary if you don't get them. And this is where we build faith, our faith and our ability to manifest, and our faith and our ability to have and go after what it is that, and attract to us what it is that we desire. And our faith and our connection to source and God or the quantum field, whatever you want to call it, that they're on our team and working for us. And you can only find this through the practice of doing this. So, and so it's getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, because the other thing is you're going to have to grow in order to receive what it is that you're desiring. You're going to have to grow in some ways, whether it's building the faith, whether it's becoming more conscious, whether it is becoming more loving, more allowing yourself to have the feelings of being wealthy in life, having friends, feeling connected, feeling of value, creating service, creating product, deepening relationships, falling in love with yourself, falling in love with others. All of that you have to grow into. And there's a lot of uncertainty into that. Now, depending on where you are and how big your idea of what you want to manifest will, depend on how easy you can let go of the resistance, right? How easy you can let go of, like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm worthy of it. Managing your feelings and your energy and changing when you get into that flow versus the resistance, things happen a lot sooner, a lot quicker, and a lot easier. But it's something we all have to go through. We're all doing this. Unless you're stuck and you just keep reliving your past over and over and over again. So again, knowing you have to grow, you have to expand, you have to put yourself out there in ways that you haven't been doing. And it's not dependent on anybody else. Go back to number one, what we said, you are responsible, really taking that responsibility. And so anyway, this is it's very exciting. I know there's a lot here, and this is why I coach this, because it is a lot to go through, and we don't always know what's in our way or what our resistance is or where we're unconscious, right? That's where I come in, or that's where these tapes will come in, or my videos or audios or my blogs. So go explore, and the more that you can explore and let go of the resistance, then the faster those things that want to be expressed in you will be able to come out, and you'll be able to receive them, because a lot of times they're just right out there, but you can't see them because you have this resistance about whether you're worthy enough, whether you're good enough, whether there's any good men out there or any good women out there left in the world, or different ideas and beliefs that are really limiting you, and not allowing you to be in that, step into that uncertainty and that potential and possibility that's out there waiting for you to create it. So I think, and I want to go back here, that one of the really important things right here is that you've got to feel okay whether your manifestation comes through or not. That's the managing of the energy. You've got to feel okay and good, and you continue on and moving forward. So that's one of the things is really important, okay? So, and working with your program fears, which are your resistance, to have faith and that's your moving into the flow and where you want to go. So what's number 3? Know your connection to Source, God, the quantum field, and realize you are working as a team. So being grateful for your connections, and just know there's a bigger energy out there than you. And this is where the faith goes. This is where science can help you, because science is backing up all this spirituality and things that have been said in different religious groups. About the bigger energy, and whatever you believe. You don't have to believe in God. You can believe that it's the quantum field, the universal field, a source, oneness, or you believe in God and it's God. Again, whatever name you put to it, there is an energy that is bigger than us, that we are playing in and we are part of. And when you start to research that, or find information, or watch YouTube videos on it from people that are in the know, you will start to feel more confident about having that connection, or having more faith in it. And as you start to do this work and things start to happen, you start manifesting these things in your life and not having any doubt, and just trusting that it will happen. And the feelings behind all of this, and you're also there is action behind this. This is not, you're not just feeling and the thoughts, but the feelings are a big part of it. But you are listening to your intuition, because there's this energetic field that is everything. Your intuition is tapped in, and you are being guided. And information that you put out, that request, that inspiration, that energy, those feelings, those thoughts, your imagination that's going out is bringing back information. And you have to be able to listen for that information and receive it, and then take inspired actions to follow that. So to give you an example of that, would be like when I first got divorced, or was divorcing, and I moved across the country after 24 years of living on one coast and then moving to another coast, leaving everybody, all my friends behind, and coming across the country. And how am I going to, I think I'm going to shorten a little bit. I'm going to do I had 2 weeks before the movers were coming, and I didn't have a house. I didn't have a place to tell the movers where to go in Santa Barbara. And so I flew out to Santa Barbara, and it was one of the big fiesta. It was a big summer holiday, and I had a friend out, and I stayed with them. And I got there, and I had a vision where I wanted to live. I had an area that I wanted to live in, and my friends that I stayed with and I kept, just like, it's, show me the way, and if I'm not supposed to do this, then let me know, and let me know really clearly, and otherwise, Source, open it up, and with ease and grace, everything with ease and grace. And so I got to my friends, and they're like, oh my God, Marilyn, but we have friends that have been looking for 1.5 years for a place to live. You're here on one of the busiest weekends. You have 24 or 48 hours to find a place. I don't know. And then I'm looking in the paper, and I'm picking up on their anxiety, and I'm starting to feel anxious. I'm like, oh my God, no. And then I'm just like, stop, Source, I told you, let me know. I picked like 3 places that I was going to go see in the morning. My intuition said to me, a friend of a friend is going to find you a place. Now, this just, had come to me before I left, before I even got on the plane and landed in Santa Barbara. And so and periodically I'm anxious, but I just keep saying, show me the way, guide me. And so I'm looking at places and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to go backwards. You know, it was like student housing, and you know, I had a beautiful house with a pool and gardens and all that, and I'm just like, I'm not going backwards. I'm not going backwards. I want a nice place. My son was going to be joining me, so I had certain conditions, and I wanted a nice place. I deserved a nice place, and I had a set price that I was willing to pay. So on the third one, I'm looking and I'm a little discouraged, but I just keep, like, I just know this is going to work out, that I'm going to find something. All of a sudden, my phone rings. And it's a friend of a friend. Now, when I came out here, I probably have 2 friends that live in Santa Barbara. And so this woman says, I'm a friend of your friend, and I hear you're looking for a place. And there's a condo, and it just happens that the owner is here. They're leaving. It's very nice, and come over. And it was right at the base of where I had chosen that I wanted to live. I went over and looked, and it was the right place for me. It was too expensive. And the man said, because his son had lived there before while he was going to school, said, I'll give it to you for your price, because I'd rather have you in here than a student in here. And I said, okay. So in less than 24 hours, I had a place. And I had this because I practiced what I'm telling you, what I'm sharing with you. And so, and I have many, many, many more stories to share, you know, afterwards or before. You know, there's lots of stories I can share, that this is how I live my life. And I want you to be able to manifest everything that you want to manifest in your life. That's your right. That's your purpose. That's why you're here. And so this is why I keep sharing all of this with you. And if you have any questions, or you want to fine tune this a little bit, get in touch with me at MarilynO'Malley.com. My number and email and everything's on there, and set up a discovery session with me. I'll spend an hour with you sharing how you can manifest better. Or if you don't know, a lot of times people don't know what they want to manifest, and that's why they have trouble. They're thinking about what they don't want versus what they do want. And I've got lots of blogs on that too. So let me see here. So highly sensitives, look where you have judgments about your sensitivities, and start to embrace them. Look where you have judgments just about yourself or about the world being, you know, an insensitive world. Look at all the ways where you're seeing yourself as powerless or weak. Find those, because that's where the resistance is, or where you think you're a victim. There's a lot of stuff there, and that energy and the beliefs and stuff behind it can get keep you very entangled in it, and not allow you to really go out into the world and blossom and bloom like you're here to do. So I hope this was helpful. You can go on to my other videos and in YouTube and take a look for a variety of topics, or you can go on to MarilynO'Malley.com and look at the blogs, and then there's resources on there, a lot of free information, and you can get in contact with me and have a free discovery session. All right, until next time, love, live, and matter.